What up, gang? We are back once again. Of course, we are here, Height Drop Podcast. I hope you guys are having a good one. Thank you guys for joining me. Can't say it often enough. I love you guys for joining me every week, or even sometimes, whatever the fuck. We got a good one for you. We got Dante Grazioli here on the podcast today. And let's go ahead and just vibe out real quick some of that deep playa house that we reminisce from the burn. Oh, yeah. All right, so quick intro for you boys and girls, because this is actually kind of a longer episode. Me and Dante just got caught up in it. Started going deep, balls deep on some parkour talk. For all the parkour fans out there, this is kind of a parkour-heavy discussion. We start out with some goofy, some just goofy shit, which, you know, I love. So that's going to be in there, of course. So if you can get past that, then you might enjoy some parkour talk. And just a quick housekeeping note here. Some housekeeping notes for you guys. First of all, I just want to shout out the Patreon patrons for giving us a little more access to video production. We got a nice tripod mount that I'm looking at right now, thanks to you guys. And you know, it's made the production for video just a little bit that much easier. And again, we're taking this podcast on the road, so it's going to be really nice to use that in upcoming trips. And then, that's pretty much it. Just wanted to shout out Owl's gang as well real quick. We never really got around to it. I had all these notes written down, which I don't usually do. And I don't know if I'll continue doing that, but sometimes I'd like to write things down that I might want to talk about. But you know what I find is that sometimes the stuff that's worth talking about usually just surfaces to the top anyways. Maybe just the act of writing it down is all you need. But much love to the crew, all you guys for joining me, Dante for coming on the episode. Hope you guys enjoy this one. Lots of fun stuff in here. I just wanted to shout out, Owl's Gang real quick. Their video, which I'll put in the description for you guys, is just one of the hypest videos in the year. And I never got around to talking to Dante about it, but They deserves a watch if you haven't seen it yet. Just some sandy stuff. And if we're having a height drop, a podcast called fucking Height Drop, the amount of height that was dropped in this video is just worth mentioning. If not an award. If there was a Height Drop award, it might have to go out to the Owls Gang Parliament real quick. And maybe we'll have to start that award and give it to those guys, unless somebody sends a little bit higher drops this year. So yeah, thank you guys for joining me once again. Much love to everybody. I can't say it enough. Like I threw it back to the playa house because that deep playa house, you don't unless you've been out there. But I'm missing it a little bit, guys. Like I was super energized from the trip, and now I've finally experienced all right, I'll get that acclimation now that people are talking about a little bit more. It takes a while for it to set in for me, but just wanted to shout out the crew, the Mountain Mayhem crew again. Much love for those guys. I'm excited to hang out and see some of them again. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Also, World Chase Tag. I go bad on World Chase Tag in this episode a little bit, but it's just in good fun and in love. So hopefully you guys know that. But yeah, we talk about some World Chase Tag, the new up and coming event that is hosting and being produced and run by a bunch of dope parkour athletes. So much love to you guys, and all of you guys for listening. Here we go. Dante Grazioli, episode 36, coming at you. See you guys soon. Peace. Except I never actually use this, but I'll fucking always do it. That was fucking shit. That's what I'm talking about.
That was a good clap.
That was a solid clap. It usually takes me 1 or 2 tries to get a good clap. Never more than that.
Never more.
If it takes you 3 tries to clap your hands, get your fucking clapping together.
I wonder how much is genetically involved in a clap.
Shape of the hand. Length of the fingers, length of the palm.
Knowing how to clap.
Oh, just genetically?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Like,
Isn't it like a learned skill?
who taught you to clap?
I think I taught myself how to clap.
Well, there you go. But that came from somewhere.
Maybe it has to do with like your auditory like attunement. Like people that have like perfect pitch and shit, they just know what a good sound of clap sounds like.
Maybe.
Hey, you never thought about clapping before, but fucking you just did on Height Drop, baby. And it's episode 36. Thanks for joining me. Dante Grazioli,
Hey.
veteran guest.
Hey.
Hey. Yeah, man. I don't know. I guess if you have thoughts on clapping, just let us know what's going on out there. I think that it's just a
It's
skill like any other
topic.
I guess it's like percussion. It's like a percussive instrument, the clap.
Yeah, so it's like, since we invented music, we've been clapping. Or discovered music.
Maybe the clap was like a signal at first. Maybe it was Morse code.
I mean, if you make a loud noise, it could scare, other animals away. Really percussive noise.
Yeah. I don't know. I really want to learn about the history of the clap now. The clap, dude. You know the clap. That's also gonorrhea. If you guys don't know, if you're not from this nation, the clap is a euphemism for the STD, gonorrhea.
It's true.
In which your dick goes. I actually don't know what gonorrhea does. I think it makes your dick like weepy and drippy, right?
Ew. Why are we talking about this?
Because, dude, this is the podcast, baby.
We're
coming out with the fire, dude.
I'm not well educated on that.
I'm not either, thank God. But I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure like pus oozes from your genitals when you.
That sounds great.
So sorry if you guys are listening to this in the morning or eating or whatever. Just ruined your day. The clap. Shout out the clap for being one of the grossest sounding STDs, gonorrhea.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think we can
I think that one's curable though. I think that one's actually like penicillin. You're good.
Pretty much, yeah.
You'd almost
I think
rather
it's
get
like
the
an
clap.
infection or I don't know.
It's STI, not STD maybe. What's the difference?
I think we call them all STIs
They're all
now.
STIs, yeah.
Usually. Like
I think
that's
you're
the
right.
PC thing. I don't know if there's a new PC
Disease.
thing
Oh, God damn it.
since then, but yeah, it went from diseases to infections. I'm not sure what it is now. But yeah, it definitely is more. I think it's more of an infection than a disease, even though it
certainly sounds like one.
It sounds like diarrhea almost.
Diarrhea. I guess, yeah.
Not a
those
good
are
place
two
to
things-
start.
Not a good place.
Not for naming.
No. Chlamydia sounds like nicer. It almost sounds like...
Wait, that's the clap.
No, chlamydia is and gonorrhea are two different things, I think.
Yeah, but I thought the clap was chlamydia.
No, the clap's gonorrhea. I know way too much about this shit. Hey, you got to stay educated out there. Otherwise, you're going to get these motherfucking
Well, one
infections.
of us isn't educated because one of us, I mean...
You might have it right now, dude.
I don't
For all
get-
you know, you're clapping it
I'm
up.
clapping out of my mind.
You're clapping.
I'm Eric Clapton
Yeah, I can hear
right
your
now.
fucking dick clap from here, dude.
Eric
You guys
Clapton,
can't hear it
dude.
because the mics aren't. Put that mic up on your crotch and we'll hear a little faint.
That was not faint.
Oh, yeah, that was some loud clappage.
Sorry.
Sorry if you have the clap out there and you're struggling with it, but at least you have the
At least it
curable
might
version.
be curable.
Yeah, I think chlamydia is also
Be careful.
the same.
Practice safe sex.
Yeah, practice safe. I mean,
Sex.
I can't really. That's like the ye who has whatever the fucking the
cast
cleanest
the
soul
first
cannot
stone.
cast the first stone. It. Now, thank God I don't have any of these diseases, and I've been tested 100% clean my whole life. However, that is again. I'm not gonna be disparaging my own name too hard here, but I've made some risque moves in my life.
I think you're a risky man sometimes.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, you gotta roll the
It
dice.
pays off.
Fortune favors the bold.
You heard it here first, folks.
Damn, dude,
Fortune
I'm such a
favors
terrible
the
role model.
bold.
Definitely do not
Brandon,
listen to this.
Fortune favors the bold, Douglas. Unsafe sex.
Dude, don't be unsafe. I'm actually like,
you should go to classrooms and
I think I woke, just tour around elementary and like middle
like,
schools.
listen, guys.
Listen, guys.
First thing off the bat, gonorrhea. Watch out.
You're gonna get some gonorrhea. You're gonna get some clap. You're gonna get the chlamydia, whatever.
Just get the ones you can cure.
Get the ones you can cure. Stay away from the hefty ones, the ones that stick with you.
Yeah, that's rough.
I'm not proud of it. I'm really not. But just, condoms, man. Nobody really likes them.
Well, yeah. I mean, hopefully
they're good. They're a great invention.
As technology gets better, birth control gets better. So there's hopefully there's going to be more easier forms of birth control. Later in the future.
We'll see. There's a lot of people thinking that, some people are. It's kind of coming back around where this. It feels like the same shit just comes up generation after generation after generation, just in different ways.
To a degree, yeah.
And so we're now revisiting
history. Definitely repeats itself.
Birth control now is it's. This makes sense because we're returning to our, we have the paleo movement for food, and we got fucking. Just working at parkour is even an ode to all right,
we have
let's
a lot
stop.
Of weird cults.
But I mean, just there's a general movement to be let's be more in harmony with our bodies as biological entities. Yeah? No?
Maybe from Boulder.
It's kind of both directions.
But from a whole world perspective, I wouldn't say so.
Fair enough. Yeah, I guess this is kind of the tip of the spear as far as people giving a shit about their fitness.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I feel by the time people start realizing how bad it is, it's already so late, And it's
yeah.
It's already pretty late when it comes to how bad especially Americans are with health.
Dude, we are some of the worst. It's embarrassing. But we get both sides. I think that's the beauty of America is we have the polarity, literally,
Well, yeah, I mean,
but
one thing that a lot of other, I mean, it is a sign of health in a way that Americans can be fat like they are because a lot of people just don't have that option.
Yeah, you could never. Dude, this Waterloo sparkling water has got me off my belch cam again.
Yeah, well,
you can never. Wait, what did you just say? I just lost my shit.
Don't ask me.
God damn it. I don't even remember what we were talking about exactly. The polarity, I guess, is what I was saying. Fat people. Oh, yeah. You can't get to being fat if you're not.
You don't have the option
if you're not
in countries. If it's not as developed, if I mean, in a lot of countries, getting a car isn't much of an option or as much of an option. So it's you get cut down in a lot of opportunities right there.
Yeah.
And if you have to spend a lot of time trying to get food and water every day, then you don't have that much time to be fat.
This is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're walking back and forth from the well, man. You're burning calories nonstop. And, I mean...
There's probably not much air conditioning.
Fuck, dude. I don't know. I was going to say something probably too sensitive. But you know what? At least you're fit out there sometimes in the... That's why they report higher levels of happiness.
That's the
American happiness is dropping.
Fitness is still great.
Life expectancy dropped, I think, for the first time this year in a long time. I think I heard that somewhere. Could be wrong. Might want to fact check me on that. But yeah, Americans... We finally hit that point where all right, technology's pulling us this direction. It's made us healthier, but it's kind of now it's finally gotten so far that it's pulling. And that's why I was talking about maybe we're trying to reach back a little bit and be all right, hold on a second. We're kind of killing ourselves. And birth control is one of those things where you're fucking up your hormones most likely if you're taking a birth control as a woman.
I mean, there's so many different kinds. There's so many different ways to do it. And obviously, it's for some people, it's just not going to work. Just like normal condoms don't work for some people that are allergic to latex.
Yeah, of course. I'm just saying there's even a full movement about. Well, I don't know. This is something I definitely don't agree with. But there's people that would argue birth control birth control itself is a volatile technology that has warped the way that humans. I mean, I guess it's that humans have evolved. It's fucking changed a lot of dynamics within relationships and.
But what
it's changed the game?
What big invention doesn't
No. I'm not against it. I'm just saying. Here's also the thing though is, in terms of being fat or being just out of whack. I think. I wouldn't expect like, I don't like condoms, but I don't expect a girl to like her version of birth control as well.
Yeah.
So you got to make a compromise there, I guess.
Oh, of course.
And
yeah, no one's like, that's the thing
but
about
I'm just
safe
saying,
sex.
like,
No one said it's fun or
nobody
cool
likes
or
it.
interesting or great. But like some things just aren't. They're just like, it's like, hey, don't be a dumbass. Like, do this right, do this smart. You know, and
or don't,
or
and then
don't, and you'll see what
happens.
happens. It's like you're gonna have to live with it, so you're gonna like try and make it sound as great as it is, or whatever. And like, but like, that's a you don't want to have a kid at our age unless like you're in some extraordinary circumstances. Raising a kid in the age that we live in now, with the, like that kid's gonna have an iPhone so fast. Or all his friends will.
You better pay for it.
That's gonna be a
I can't pay for an iPhone.
That's gonna be a weird world to raise a kid in, dude. Can't imagine,
dude. I mean, I don't know. It always feels like it's different. I feel like we're like, yeah, man, this is the generation. We really facing it,
it's
man.
It's gonna be weird to raise a kid in a world with CD players.
Yeah, it's just come on, dude. I guess
listen
like,
to Eminem at any moment.
Everyone always overestimates the future. I feel like we're always kind of like make it. Well, we always have. Maybe we won't. Maybe this is it. But I feel like that's like the human condition is like for us to always kind of think, yeah, this is it, man. We're all gonna this be the last one. Apocalypse by the time I'm dead. I can feel it coming.
It's hard to not look around at all the extraordinary circumstances of everything all the time. And like, if you actually think about it, it's ridiculous, you know? Mm-hmm. And then to be like, okay, so like by sheer number of odds, here I am. And like, even 100 years ago, even 100 years before 100 years ago, it's like the further you go back, it's like we already live better than any king before, you know?
Suck it, Henry VIII.
Everybody gets to be a king, right? So it's like, it's crazy to think like, yeah, we're really, really, really lucky to be where we are right now. But it's like, if civilization doesn't destroy itself, then yeah, like you'd be a lot luckier to be born maybe in 500 years.
Yeah. That's why I'm going to be freezing myself. That's why we're recording this podcast, because they'll be able to clone me. And like this podcast serves as a capsule for my consciousness.
Of course.
And there'll be a computer algorithm that'll read and like, you know, all the language, take all the video footage, and I'll just, even after I'm dead, I'll just like reanimate all of a sudden.
Oh, that's how that. See, I was gonna ask about that part, you know, and you had it covered with you'll just reanimate all of a sudden.
I mean, in my head, I don't know what's going on, but like I just pop on again. I'm online, and I've got
seen that Johnny Depp
Android
movie?
body. What?
What's the Johnny Depp movie that's kind of like that? He like dies and then he has his own computer consciousness. It's awful. It's awful.
I love sci-fi movies like that, but that one sounds. I mean, see the premise. I'm like, all right, Johnny Depp.
I can't remember what it's called, but sorry.
Johnny Depp really fell off, didn't he?
I never liked him that much. Like, can you really say many movies you like him in other than like Pirates of the Caribbean or something?
Edward Scissorhands, bro.
I've actually never seen it.
Edward Scissorhands is a masterpiece.
And in the remake of Willy Wonka,
dude,
I was like,
Blow. Come on, man, Blow.
I haven't seen that either.
You never seen Blow?
Dude, I haven't seen a lot of movies.
Dude, you missed some Johnny Depp fucking epics.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's why.
You got to see Blow and you got to see Edward Scissorhands. Beyond that, I mean, I fucking take or leave Johnny Depp.
I mean, I saw that one movie. It was bad. I saw the Willy Wonka remake. It was
chocolate.
You know, it left things to be desired, even though I was young when I saw it. And
wait, which remake?
He was Willy Wonka.
Oh yeah, give me a fucking break.
Yeah, but I like Pirates of the Caribbean, but I didn't watch like all 17 of them.
No, nor did I. He became that person. That's what happened to him. He became Jack Sparrow, dude.
And then they typecasted him as the weird guy.
And he not even typecast.
The funny thing
in
is
his own life, he became like he started wearing makeup.
I feel like I guess
maybe
he was like that all along.
I think it
he just finally got to be more comfortable with doing it.
I mean,
but who knows?
I guess I'm talking shit, but Johnny Depp had an extremely awesome. I mean, who knows? He's probably in the woodwork right now.
We'll have to have him
cooking
on.
up something dope. I'll have him on one day.
You'll have to have him on.
When Height Drop meets Johnny
Depp.
Here he comes, in all the way from Los Angeles.
Whoa. How's it going?
Is that you, Johnny Depp?
No, I was just asking how it was going.
Dude, he's a legend though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I remember there were like girls in high school or maybe middle school that had like pictures of him like in their binder or on their binder, and him and like the singer of Green Day. What's that guy? Billy
Joel.
I don't know. Billy Joel.
No.
Billy Joe.
Billy Joe.
Idol.
I don't know. Yeah, something like that.
Billy. I don't know. But that guy too. Just like, isn't that a weird thing?
That's that
to just
punk
carry around
emo.
a
That's that
binder
emo
with, like,
phase.
what if guys
You
did
think
that?
emo phase is like that's like the thing? Like 80s had the neon and all that shit, and like wind pants. When you look back, and the 90s was like, what's the fucking gem that just only existed during the 90s? It might be like that's one of them, I think.
Kind of like grunge,
like OG hip hop, and then like grunge punk, emo punk,
like, and then like hip hop type stuff. That's kind of like around late 90s. Well,
no, because rockers have been wearing makeup for a long time, really.
Yeah, but it was.
You've always had like that's that androgyny, that kind of that's fashionable. That just comes through.
It comes back around.
It just comes back around.
Flannels. Are they in right now? Or are they out right now?
Only as a vest. They're in as a vest.
How do you know sleeves. That? What gives you the authority?
Just I put my ear to the ground and I felt it.
I mean, it's pretty hot right now, so like wearing
that's
sleeves.
That's why they're only in as a vest. Once
you put your ear to the ground, it got really hot. Like no sleeves.
No, I put my ear to the ground and it was like vest, flannel vest. Okay. Yeah, dude, I don't know, man. What the fuck are we talking about out here? This is a height drop episode, so we should maybe talk about some parkour bullshit. There's actually a lot that's been happening, and I wrote it down just in case.
Just in case I wasn't informed.
Just in case the listeners are sick of the bullshit and they want to actually talk about parkour once in a while, which is just another little string under the umbrella of bullshit. But it's one of the ones that we can actually speak intelligently or more intelligently about.
Yeah.
We have expertise in this area. So,
somewhat.
Oh, shout out real quick. I wish I could play it for you guys. I got a voicemail from this dude in Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe if I have the time, I'll add it to the end of this episode or the beginning even. But just shout out to that guy. I don't know. I gotta address that. Some guy in Arkansas called in. Just much love to that guy. It was a really dope voicemail. Go out to Arkansas and visit these people up there. They have spots. He was telling me about the spots. Okay, here's what I wanted to talk about. World Chase Tag.
World Chase Tag.
Did you catch the World Chase Tag Championships or any part of it? Or
I saw a lot of clips on Facebook and Instagram and stuff, but no, I didn't like sit down and watch it. I'd like to. But I'd like to do that with people, and I just don't have that many passionate people who would sit down and watch it with me. I'm not going to watch it by myself. Sorry.
Fair enough. I sat down. It was a 3-hour event, more or less, so I skimmed through it and just kind of like caught little bits, and then just...
Little bits.
I caught the bits, and then I caught the finish. I don't know. So you haven't watched enough to really have a take on it, maybe, but...
I mean, I definitely have a huge respect for it, and I think it's really, really cool, and I like what they're doing. And then also when I was in Japan a couple weeks ago, I went to Missions, and they have a whole, like, their upstairs is dedicated to that chase tag. They have, like, a little room with that same course and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was super, super cool, and I'm like, I want that to go, like, further, and I'd like to try it sometime and do it, like, as well, because it looks really fun and, like, interesting.
I agree. Yeah, I think it's big up to the people putting that together. I do have a few bones to pick with it.
Let's hear it.
But first let me just shout out the love, because it is all love. These are my just honest thoughts on it. I think it's dope. I think it's an awesome platform. Like if it's another avenue for people to just go down, like nothing but love for people like just wanting to show off their speed and the park, bring more people interested in the parkour, and have more avenues for parkour athletes to just express themselves, travel, like go meet up, have a lot of fun. It looked like it was a blast. Like a bunch of people you and I both know, I'm sure, that were competing in there. Jesus, if I was gonna talk shit, or not even talk shit, but just critique it, I don't know how like commercially viable it can be if it's that. I mean, things are going to figure it out. Things are going to figure themselves out. It's going to become a more honed event. Mm-hmm. But for 3 hours, I was just like, it's tag, it's World Chase Tag. Obviously, I don't know like how I just don't know. The format isn't confusing or anything. I liked it. I just don't know.
The thing is, I haven't sat down and tried to watch like the whole event or anything, so I can't speak on that. I don't know. But a lot of that stuff, honestly, to make it interesting, is like it's context and it's commentators.
Yeah, who's competing?
So like.
True.
I don't know. Think about like MMA or something. It's like a lot of like if you just watch those people fight and you didn't know anything about them or what they're doing or anything, it's not that interesting. But when you get into the world of it, they're explaining why things are important, why what they're doing is important, why who they are is important. That makes it so much more watchable, so much more interesting, and you don't have to be watching people doing tag all the time.
Yeah, no, yeah. And my biggest complaint with it is actually also the biggest compliment I'd have for it, and that is like it is actually one of the most truest forms of parkour that you can see competitively.
Yeah.
Because it's like people chasing each other.
I think it's so cool that it's
super
competitive.
Cool. You're actually going to see parkour applied in so many like new and interesting ways. Mm-hmm. With that said, that is also my biggest complaint is that it's not actually a useful skill to tag somebody. Like fighting, it's like you're beating the shit out of somebody. Chasing them, touching them is like not necessarily
but
like being able to touch somebody
practicing to do flips isn't useful.
Well, and there's other things that bother me about it, but like again, I'm just a little fucking
it's just an avenue to display what parkour is, and it's a interesting and different way from what people have tried before.
No, I agree, and here's what I say though, but is the environment actually conducive to like what you would experience in a real chase? You're not going to necessarily like circle around at people. I don't know, but would fighting be as interesting? Like, why isn't jiu-jitsu or I don't know, let me think. I can't think of an analogy there, but like fighting I think draws the people, so many viewers in because it's as close to a real fight as like is legally allowed, whereas like
I don't know if that's
watching
what's bringing viewers in, because viewers can watch World Star.
I mean, they can, and there's bare knuckle boxing leagues, there's other things popping up. For me, it becomes, I don't know, I just have this dissonance with the fact that like you're in this arena, and so I'd like the arena to be larger, I guess. Is all. Like I'd like to have a little less like
that's one thing
circulation
that I think,
and like
I mean, think about this. Like it's one of the things that's great about it is you can do it 1v1. And that's super cool because there's not many parkour competitions you can do 1v1, which means you can have a tournament or a bracket structure.
Yeah.
So if they have multiple of the course, or if they have different courses or something like that, you can make the competition
if it's like tennis or like
cool it would be if
Smash
there was like
Bros,
5
when
courses.
there's like
in Smash you strike for stages. So what if you and the other person had to strike to eliminate stages?
Yeah, like this.
Okay, we're trying to get to, I don't like this stage, you don't like that stage, so we're going to ban them from each other, and then we'll get down to a stage that we both like, and that's where we're going to play tag on. Obviously that's a lot to ask to have that many stages or something to play tag or something.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be so cool to have, events where you could have, 100 or more than 100 man tournaments in this kind of structure. And obviously like that'd be a lot of matches, but if you don't go into losers, it wouldn't be that many. And they're short too. They're pretty short.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm only playing devil's advocate because hopefully,
and also I'm sure a bigger course. Think how much harder it could get.
It could get way harder, or maybe it could get more linear in the course. Like maybe they actually have to navigate a maze. Like for me,
there's a lot of cool things they can do.
Like as a spectator, I would like to see that just as like so it feels more like it's an actual chase rather than like tag.
Yeah,
but I know it
also maybe
again. I'm only saying this stuff.
What if everybody had like streaming GoPros?
Oh, that'd be epic.
Yeah, there's so many ways.
I don't want to inhibit
improved.
the movement and like.
Yeah.
The other thing is like, do I really?
There's lots of ways to make it interesting.
There's lots of ways to make it interesting. I'd like to see it mimic training styles a little bit more. Like right now, it's its own event, and I think at one point even like the commentator said like, someone who's good at parkour, someone who's got world chase tag experience. Like, I think we see a pattern here because the guys that necessarily, like, maybe they're really dope at parkour, they're not necessarily doing super well.
Oh yeah, of course.
As like
it's a different skill.
Different skill. And so for me, again, like I'm only playing devil's advocate because I want to see these guys succeed. So I'm bringing up like their points that I think like they are probably already addressing, but if they can address them even more, they're going to be even. They already got my viewership.
Yeah.
But if they want other people's, I think they got to maybe address some of these things, or maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. But I think that
I think it could be big.
I think it could be huge. I like the idea of different stages. I
Yeah.
like the idea of like different courses or like being.
It's cool to have the standard stage too, though. I think they have their own standard course, and like at least like the one in Missions or whatever was very similar, close to one I've seen before already. That it was very standardized, you know.
I don't
so
know if I
like
like that because that becomes more like a gymnastics event where like you're
well,
specifying
it takes
to an
the
obstacle
out of it, and it really brings the person's training into it. Because if people have trained on the same thing before, then when they're playing tag with someone, then it really is the
an
mental
equalizer
game.
of sorts.
It really is the mental game between the two people, which I think is, you know, kind of what they're going for.
All right, I see your point. But not everyone's gonna have. Well, eventually, maybe everyone would have access. Especially all the top competitors would have access to these arenas.
If you have a standardized course and at least like, oh, I did this
then
last
you get
year.
levels and stuff like.
Yeah,
then you
or,
get like
I
the
did
Super
this
Smash
at
Bros.
this one
effect. You're
gym.
like, oh, I got this one. I
Yeah.
mean, I see where you're going with it, and I think like, yeah, the sky's the limit. It could be really, really exciting.
It'd be
That's
fun
just-
to do little local tournaments too with chase tag, you know, like that could be a whole class or something that people like in a section of parkour that people are more interested in, because a lot of people like to just do you know, speed courses, and it's a little bit different than speed courses, but it has, you know, a competitive aspect, you know, it's interesting, it's cool.
Fair play. What do you think about this? Again, I'm just talking. I'm playing devil's advocate mostly here.
That's fair.
But is it dangerous enough? I think like
You want it to be more dangerous?
I think it's pretty dangerous already.
Really? I think
like, okay, here's my theory on like spectator sports. Is it has to be dangerous or look dangerous, but invariably the more dangerous it is, the more viewership you can get.
what about video games?
That's an interesting point because I know that it's a huge audience,
There's
right?
no danger.
There's no danger
No
whatsoever.
danger at all.
But you have to be into video games. But video games are just that large.
Yeah.
There's not a lot. Do you know if there's a huge viewership that comes outside of what watches video game tournament? Like, how could you get into a video game tournament or watching video games? I guess unless you played the game, right?
There's a lot of people that actually love to watch people play video games but don't play the video games.
Damn.
Kind of like, I don't know, people that listen to podcasts, they have people that they watch play video games or listen to talk while they play video games, like ASMR in a way or something. So people can get into a lot of games through weird stuff like that, or documentaries.
I guess that makes sense. Like, yeah, I see,
documentaries
like,
about communities in the games. You know, like the Smash community has there's documentaries
That's
about
true.
them
Like,
and stuff like that.
I don't play a lot of video games, and I am moderately, I'd say I'm a moderate audience viewer for like video game stuff. Like I'd like to see like the last tournament, you know. I'm not going to follow it all the way up, but I want to see like the last match in the tournament.
Oh yeah.
Like
yeah,
I want to
yeah.
see the finalists.
No, yeah, and that's
of,
what
like,
most
Super
people
Smash
do. They
Bros.
just tune in for
Or,
like top 8 and I
Or
mean,
if-
I don't watch, like, you know what, like these are multiple day events, so it's like, yeah, if you're a little bored on one day and you want to tune in and see some matches, that's fine. But yeah, it's like most people are just trying to catch the finals.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's fair. And I think that like, I mean, yeah. Again, I'm not trying to shit on video game tournaments or anything else. I just like, I think if these things, I want to see them succeed. Chase tag, I want to, and maybe there's a lot they could learn from the live streaming and stuff that video game community does. Like I definitely, that's one of the reasons
they're really
I want to.
professional, like esports. Like, I mean, a big part of it is a lot of them, at least, they're advertising their game. That's where the money comes from. You know what I mean? It's. This new game's out. We want a competitive community, so we're going to pay for tournaments and stuff to happen. So in that way, it gets really professional and stuff because they want to represent the game well and all that. But I mean, a lot of the traits carry over, you know, and it's good to have professional qualities of a stream. And people, especially in the parkour community, don't harness streams enough. Streams could be so much bigger in the parkour community if people could figure out ways to do them properly, and like it could be really cool and interesting, I think.
I agree. What do you think about the team aspect of the chase tag? I think it's like a 5-on-5 team. It is like 1v1, but I kind of like what you're saying, where it's kind of like, I almost like that more than a team thing. Like if athletes were just competing against each other and there wasn't like a team aspect to it,
or have
I don't
both.
know.
You know,
Obviously, yeah, both is good, but I think I'd be maybe more interested in the 1v1 stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. I feel like I'd have to take part in an event to really know what it's all like. Because I don't know what the drawbacks of competing are. I don't know, because some things just
Yeah,
suck
you get-
to compete in.
Yeah.
And
It's like it seems
it's hard
exhausting.
It's hard to
potentially.
tell yourself it was actually worth it afterwards. It's like
that's what I'm saying. Well, that's kind of, again, if I'm taking beef with it, which I don't have any really. I just want to just hash this out and just think about both sides here. It's hard to keep parkour athletes. Traditionally, it's been hard to keep parkour athletes interested in competition.
yeah.
And like that's okay. Like that, there's nothing wrong with that. We don't want to like force anyone to do shit they're not trying to do. But it becomes
Well, we're trying to make it more dangerous for
trying to make it more
spectators.
dangerous. Well, that's the thing. It's like it's just tough. It's just tough. I guess like we gotta. It's harder to get into sports like as a spectator if there's not like people that you can get behind and get like a following for, right?
Yeah.
Like in MMA and stuff, there's a high turnaround of champions, so it becomes hard for them sometimes to market people up because they just lose and then they just disappear off the map. So when they get their superstars like the Conor McGregors or the Ronda Rouseys or the John Joneses, they really get behind those guys because they don't know how long it's going to last. Mm-hmm. And so that the same thing can happen in parkour where it's like maybe you do get some big superstars here and there, but the turnaround rate is not. Is pretty quick still.
Oh yeah.
Where people like get into competition, they get right out.
Yeah, it's not a super lucrative place to be.
No.
Like you like kind of want to get in, get what you wanted out of it, and then hope you get out alive.
Yep.
That's how I feel at least.
Yeah. And so like I don't know, the problem I guess that I like I'm trying to solve in my head is just like, all right, how do you make it so that enough people are watching that there's money and sponsorships enough to like make it worth the athlete's while after they've gotten just that initial what they want out of competition, because there is a lot to be gained from
you
just
gotta
competing.
find all the stuff you can market, and shoes are one.
Shoes,
you can
clothing.
sell shoes, stuff that you can advertise
GoPros.
on stream and sell, but a lot of it is if you can do it, if you can sell it, having people that maybe might be into it and then actually being able to sell it's a different thing.
And with parkour there's such a big
stigma.
not resistance, but like I think it's a good thing. It's like there's a lot of morals in the community surrounding like what we want to accept as sponsors and like what we're willing to do.
I mean, for a lot of people it's like if they sponsor something, it's like, do they even do parkour? It's like, what are they doing? Why are they sponsoring us?
Yeah, what the fuck, man?
It's like because they want to make money.
I don't know, and I guess maybe we're getting over that hump sooner than later. Yeah, maybe not, but
we'll see.
I think we're gonna have. I mean, that's just the way that things grow. We're gonna.
We've
gonna
been pretty grassroots for most of our history as well. So it's not. I don't know. I think that event, if it can break into mainstream, that'd be awesome. But it's like most of parkour has been grassroots. It's honestly like we're only hitting a point now where we're seeing anything actually break into mainstream, like Store's something.
The first big crossover probably.
Yeah, or just some of the athletes are getting more mainstream. They're getting a lot of followings and like social media platforms and stuff.
Yeah, I think we're getting shared more consistently on like the main, like Unilad, World Star, like all these regular. What is it? Daryl Stingley just got shared on some. I think, I don't know. People Are Awesome, stuff like that. Like that's an interesting one actually, because I think I forget who made the point on one random comment thread on one of the shares I saw is like, I think Max Henry shared it saying, "Oh look, finally some people responded positively to parkour," and like it was a universal, like almost universal. There's like much more positive comments.
I think I saw that, and other people were also like talking about how it's because it's a gym,
because it's
a gym parkour video.
Yeah.
And like wondering if that's why, or
I mean that's an interesting point. I think it makes sense. That's like why people find it more palatable. People that don't, because you're not getting the people like that instantly see you doing jumping on anything outside and thinking like, oh, what a piece of shit, what a adrenaline junkie. They're just trying to like. They're gonna hurt themselves. They're gonna fuck up property, whatever.
Yeah, it looks out of context to them.
Yeah, but
maybe. So where if you see a parkour guy doing parkour in a parkour gym, it looks like everything's at home. You're like, all right, this is the way it's supposed to be. right?
Yeah, yeah. And everything is close enough together that I don't know. It is appealing, I guess, in that regard. But
I'm not really sure what it is.
I don't either.
I mean, it makes it easier to pay attention to the one factor that the video is for, which is the person performing. If you have all this stuff and people walking around in the background and like trees and buildings and signs and all that stuff, it is more distracting. Yeah. That's for sure. If you have blank canvas of the walls and bars and it's just solid colors, it's maybe easier for the eye to look at.
Yeah. I mean, that's part of the thing, like with art, like that's why they often put it against like white backdrop or whatever. Juxtaposition, baby. You need that contrast.
Yeah.
There's a uniform gym background and then Daryl just popping off.
Just blasting through some lash shades.
Blasting through some huge lash shades. And he's really made a I don't know, he's like one of the biggest like up and comers, I'd say.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's been like on the grind for a while. And he's finally been on the grind, shooting
but he's
out of
definitely
his
cut out like a little corner for himself, I feel like.
Yeah.
And it's only getting bigger and like he's getting better representation and stuff, which is cool.
Yeah. Shout out Daryl Stingley. I have to get him on one day. I don't know. I'm a hater, I guess. Don't be taking it too seriously. I love the world chase thing in general. I'm just
yeah, no, I mean it's still got to develop. It's really new.
It's just it's super new, and so
got to see where
those
it
are my
goes.
thoughts on it. Those are my thoughts on that. I think that they did a really good job.
Yeah,
with everything actually. The live stream, like I didn't want to sit down for 3 hours, but like everything that I watched was interesting. Like every moment that I like paused at, I was like, man. There's some cool stuff, and you do see some really interesting bails, and like again, that's why I think the danger factor.
What kind of bails are you seeing? Just like just people hitting their knees,
people
or
just
what?
Like, you know, you get in that competitive mindset. And people just kind of huck their bodies around. Some people eat shit.
Just
I think
mess up.
Yeah, people just like slip and miss their feet because they're trying to keep eyes on the person chasing them, or their eyes on the person they're chasing, and eyes on the obstacles. So there were some definite like savage. I think one dude like did a huge like dive roll like splat like towards the end of the competition where his like ass bounced off. Like I was like, damn dude, I don't know that that's fun to compete in yet, but
people do that in freestyle competitions too.
True. Yeah, I guess everyone's always willing.
You know, some people really don't want to get caught, so they're gonna do something so dumb that they'd rather do that than get caught. And it's like same thing in speed comps and style comps. Some people
100%. Yeah, no, I've ragdolled myself.
Do something like so dumb and just send it than like not go for it or not do what they think they should or whatever.
That's going to be like...
But at least it's all low height. You don't have anybody messing up and then falling like 10 feet.
It's invariable. I mean, someone's going to get concussed like eventually doing one of those things though.
Yeah, but...
There's going to be some savage bails.
But at NAPC, didn't like Max run his head first into a rail?
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's different than other competitions in that regard. I'm just saying like people are going to get fucked up at that. And I think faster because there's actually more variables. And you can't really... like in a speed comp, you practice the course. You've already like kind of assessed the bails that are possible for you. Mm-hmm. In a chase course, there's nothing really to plan for. I mean, you plan like maybe like I'll go over here and then I'll switch back.
I don't know. It's like jazz. Like you work your progressions and you work your scales, and then you're in this place where you're forced to, work from your scales and your progressions. So it's as good as your little building blocks are. Sure.
I'm not saying it isn't. I'm just saying that because of the extra person involved.
Yeah.
Like it becomes more complex than any other competition possibly could, because you're battling someone who's as complex as you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think I'm not saying it's not awesome. I'm saying that it's more prone to injury than maybe other competitions.
I don't know if I agree with that.
All right.
I mean, obviously we'd have to check the data.
Let's check the data. We'll come back in like 5 years.
We'll have the data.
That's my
5
prediction.
Years from now, we'll bring up the data.
I predict that it's gonna have a higher injury rate, and that's fine. Again, that's
I think
more
the easiest
spectators.
way to find out
by
is
my
just
formula.
see,
There's more injuries,
like,
more equals more
we'll
spectators.
See who takes part in it consistently, and if people quit after a while, then they probably got hurt.
Yeah, and I don't want people to get hurt. I'm just them's the facts. I think that when you're dealing with more complexity.
But like Red Bull, dude, like I don't know. I think a big factor for people getting hurt is glory. And it's like,
Yeah.
I don't like when I'm watching the chase tag and stuff, I'm not seeing people fight for glory. It's like they're trying really hard and stuff, but it looks like a competition more than like, yo, I could get everybody to think I'm the greatest right now if I hit this, bro.
That's true. I think like the other competitions set you up for a moment where you can like bet it. You can go all in.
At least this day's tag. There's no point where like, all right, we're in the finals. We're playing tag 10 feet up now.
Yeah.
Like that's what it gets to in our competitions.
Yeah.
It goes, okay, we're already on concrete. Like, how do we make it more interesting?
You don't think it would
end?
get there with the chase tag?
I think it could.
That'd be fucked.
Well, I mean, like I said, we'll have to see it
people
develop.
be willing to do it. Yeah, we'll see. So get out there and watch World Chase Tag.
Yeah, what if it was all on rails, like over water, and you could still just deck yourself on a rail on the way down?
That's the one thing that I've always liked about Ninja Warrior, even though like Ninja Warrior is another one of these things. It's not really parkour, but it's sometimes really awesome to watch and pay attention to.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that it's over water. I don't like the fact that the obstacles are just goofy as shit.
Yeah.
But I do like the fact that they're over water because it's consequences, but it's not like dire consequences.
Yeah. It's a fun consequence. It's a real one too.
It's a real one.
You're like, I don't want to get
Sometimes
wet.
you don't want to get wet, especially if it's
swim.
cold. Especially if it's cold out and the water's cold.
Just so many reasons.
Unless you're Wim Hof, you don't want to be in that shit.
Yeah.
Wim Hof just swims through the course.
But overall, you enjoyed it?
Overall, I'm very excited for it. I hope it develops like...
Would you ever like to do it?
No.
No? Never?
Fuck no.
Why?
I don't like playing... Like, I don't like playing tag.
You're too cool for tag?
It's not that I'm too cool.
You're too cool for tag.
I'm super competitive.
Douglas is too cool for tag.
Injure myself. I will injure myself.
Why don't you just catch them real fast?
I just like...
You're fast. You wouldn't have to try that hard.
Dude, I'd break my own ankles probably. Like I'd fucking like I'd dart one way and then switch the other way and fucking tear my ACL. Like that's what I feel like could happen.
Only in tag though.
Not only in tag. I'm just saying. I don't know. Maybe I would compete, but I don't fucking think I would like to. I don't think I like chasing people around.
What if you were just found yourself at a gym and then you saw one of those things and you're hanging out with your friends? You wouldn't want to hop around and try and tag some people for a little bit if they were into it and it was fun?
If it was fun, again, like I could have fun doing it. I could do it. I don't think it's like my favorite thing.
You're too cool for it. You're too cool
I'm too
for tag,
cool for
dude.
it. Fuck tag. I'm too cool for it, right?
You're more of a hide and seek kind of guy.
I do like hide and seek more. Hide and go seek tag.
Hide and go seek tag.
See, that's the game that I like to play when I was little.
Well, maybe we need a hide and go seek parkour
I want to be like
event.
Sneaking around and then I pop out of the bushes.
That's where the GoPros would work.
Hell yeah. Okay, so like I want to make an offshoot branch of hide and go seek tag. Of world hide and go seek chase tag.
Dude, that would be so funny. Just like a whole parkour gym, but there's like special places to hide and stuff.
That'd be sick.
I don't know what you could do to like make it for real.
Would you? Do you want to compete in world chase tag?
I definitely would want to play around and like try it. Yeah, like I don't know like anything about it to be honest, which is mostly why I want to like delve into it more. But yeah, no, I think it'd be really fun, and I want to work more on my speed and connection type stuff, like more flow state. Like straight parkour flow state, I guess, like, you know, point A, point B, or like here to there.
I don't know. Actually, I did play tag with Sebastian Foucault at his workshop when he came through Boulder, and I actually had a really good time.
Yeah, so it's all about the setting.
It's all about the setting, man. Like that was zombie tag though. That wasn't 1v1.
Yeah, no, I used to play zombie tag at Cottonwood all the time, dude.
Ultimately, it got down to 1v1.
And like zombie groundies, whatever you call it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like it's the too cool factor. I just feel like I've never really liked tag.
That's a shame.
I don't know. Maybe I have.
Who hurt you?
Dude.
Who tagged you?
Somebody fucking tagged me and I fell over and smashed my teeth on a tree root. And it's never been the same.
Well, dude, maybe that's just something you gotta start working on your own.
I feel like people cheat at tag. That's what I don't like, you know? You get them and then they're like, no, you just touched my shirt. I just like got annoyed with it.
That's why you get everybody, you know, stripped down. Maybe cover them
flags,
in some sort of paint.
You get flags and you rip them off, Velcro
flags.
style.
Flags might be pretty like, yeah, that's obviously solid.
That might be a less like leave less to the judges.
Yeah.
Because there were some ones where they're like challenged
Yeah.
in the event, and it was
They're
like,
no, it's my baggy
he was
parkour
like-
shirt.
yeah, it's like I don't know. Yeah, I think that might be a better. Who knows? Who knows? And maybe then you have 3 balloons like Mario Kart, and you get 3 flags, and you just
They'd
fucking. Then they both have them? No, that'd be weird.
Well, the thing is with Mario Kart, they have like 8 people in it once.
Yeah.
So you just put a bunch of people and everybody has flags, and they're all trying to take
Just
each
last
other's.
man standing. Dude, I'm not mad at that yet either.
Although, like, it would probably just become a brawl at some point. Be hard to take.
Just take it like hockey.
How do you
There's
take
like
a man's
actual
flag
fist fights.
without, or what if it was like one? I don't know. This is getting weird.
Yeah, it is.
Thinking about weird parkour games now. It's
getting
turned
weird
into
fast.
sports.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just old. I'm just too old for competition now.
Old.
I'm too old for competition now.
What do you mean? You're too old to do well in competition.
I'm too
You're
old
too
to
old
want to do it.
enjoy
I already,
competition.
I already got what I wanted out of it, and like now I wouldn't want to do it so
There's
much.
nothing you don't think there's anything beneficial for you to get out of it.
World Chase Tag I've never done, so I'm sure I'd learn a lot if I did that.
Okay.
But I don't know. It's like something you can revisit, I guess.
Yeah.
So
but right
like,
now you're just
I
not.
probably like depleted like in those areas for sure. Like
Yeah.
whatever like it sharpens, it's always good for you. It's just honestly I don't trust myself. Like that's the thing. It would be harder to do.
Trust yourself.
I get like when I get in a competitive mindset, I like it's hard for me to keep myself grounded and not become the sender. You know?
Yeah.
You'd be the person like.
No, I feel the same way. Like it's so hard to just like be like, oh, it's just another day. It's just another whatever. Like I'm just gonna do stuff I normally do. Like it's hard to keep that mindset when there's like a huge event going on and that's all everybody talks about. And it's
Well, I feel like if you're participating in it, you should try. Like it should be different almost. I don't want it to be like any other day. Otherwise, why the fuck would I, like, why am I doing it if I'm like, I'm just going to just train like normal? It's like, for me, I want to experience all the event has to offer if I'm going to do it. I'm going to like push myself. I'm going to like apply myself.
Yeah, no,
So,
I
like,
agree with that. But
so
usually that goes too far.
Yeah, often it does.
And then you end up being like,
You know what though? Actually, in competition, I've never really gotten like, I'm trying to think back. I'm like, I don't think I've ever like done anything that I'm like, oh, I really messed it up there.
I've never like fucked myself
Usually,
up. But yeah, I get little like, like twinges or bruises and stuff that I normally wouldn't, but I get them everywhere. Like,
yeah, I get them just as much as like.
I'd say like usually like normal training, I get soreness more than anything, but like yeah, I get more dings and stuff when it comes to competitions.
I've had like one acute injury, I think, in competition, but like often my injuries in competition come from like showing up to the competition not competition ready.
Yeah,
like I have an ankle thing or I already have like a knee thing, and then like because of the competitive mindset, I kind of like, it's not that I'm like I'm fucking sending it, I just kind of forget that I'm like, oh, I have to nurse that knee a little bit.
Especially when you get in the moment.
And then I'm just like, gadoosh. And I'm like, oh, fuck, my knee hurts now.
Yeah.
So, like, that's all I'm saying. It's not, it's not that I don't trust myself to have a good presence of mind completely, but it's just like, if I'm going to go for it, I think competition is just cost benefit right now for me. I'd rather make a video because I can do the same kinds of things. I can still get in like a really pushing myself limit, like I get to choose the things I want to do. I like making videos more is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm not saying that, you have a finite amount of years in this sport, like pushing yourself to the peak of like what you might be able to do. Mm-hmm. For me, those days are still around, but they're not here forever. So I want to spend all of the, I like see my training almost like fight camps now. Like I'm going to get ready, get in really good shape, and then like do some stuff. Mm-hmm. Like obviously I have like day-to-day training, but like I still want to like push myself to like the highest levels that I can hit.
Yeah.
And for me, now that I'm older, I feel like it takes dedication, and I wouldn't put that dedication towards a video project rather than a competition.
Yeah.
Because at this age, it feels like it's one or the other. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I didn't do like the sport sustainably. Maybe I don't
I
condition
think that's a
enough.
mature way of looking at it. Yeah, sometimes it does feel like you take all your energy, all your effort, all your time, and then you put it into a project. And you can be very stoked on that project. You know, you go through the cycle. It's a fun cycle, a good journey, you know, and you come out with a nice product at the end that you like. And then you can share that and enjoy that and, you know, move on from it and play off of it. Whereas in competition, you're putting all of that energy into mostly yourself, and then you're expending it all at an event, and then you get placed, you know?
Yeah.
So all of your self-worth, you know, it's easy to put it into your placement or, you know, all that kind of stuff. And especially if you get injured or whatever, or, you know, you get into that mindset, you're already playing a game of saying what I do is for my self-worth. And like, that's not a healthy mental process anyways. And it's that can be for a lot of people where like, oh yeah, that's not as much in a project of a video or something. You know, you may later try to look at your self-worth, but while you're doing it, you're usually, you know, hitting your own motivations, and you're not trying to appease the crowd, the judges, the blanks. Yeah. And it's easier. And then, yeah, at the end of the day, like if you make a project, you did it how you wanted it, but a competition, it's like one person at the top got it how they wanted it and everybody else didn't. You know, it's a little different.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and not everybody. Yeah, that's not always entirely true because some people's expectations are far surpassed. Yeah. You know, if you go into the event with the right expectations, you will surpass them. Yeah. You know, ultimately, that's like what you should expect to do.
Can be so, you know, fiendish though too. Oh, yeah. It's like,
and by the right expectations, I mean zero expectations.
Expect nothing.
Expect nothing, and just have a good time. Is like that's always been my two goals. Like, try to do my best, but not really expect anything. And like my goal is to try to just have a good time the entire event. Yeah. That's always my number one goal. Have fun.
It can be hard though.
But it's hard to do. That's like, why it's the goal for me.
That's why it's a fun challenge. But yeah, it's like when you're trying to have fun making a video, if you're not having fun, you can take a break. Yeah. Like the competition, there's no time where you can take a break. It's like, okay, you're on, you know, or you're in the hole or whatever. You go, you do your thing. It's like, you can't just say, hey guys, can we all stop? I'd rather do this tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like it's a different pace. Well, it's a lot of stress.
I like,
it's crazy.
It's super crazy. And I think like for videos, it's not even like as much as like one video, like almost like a trip. Yeah. Like go take a trip. Like obviously I'm going to be filming and stuff because I enjoy doing that. I already like making things. So like for me, that's kind of like, it's similar in the competition setting because you only get a day. So maybe you don't even get that luxury every time you're on a trip where you're like, oh, I want to do this tomorrow. Yeah. Sometimes you're like, fuck, it's here. It's now. Or it's next time I'm in Laos, which is not going to happen anytime soon. So yeah, I don't know. I just like if they have a lot of similarities, and that's all I'm saying is like if I had infinite energy, I would do both.
Well, it also feels like some of the energy you put into competition can dissipate, you know, like I said, when you put that energy into a video and you have the video, you can put your energy into a competition and you can feel like you didn't have much out of it. Like even if you had a good performance or whatever, it's one performance and it's not going to be as impactful as a bunch of performances put into a compilation of, you know, of art that you want to share or something. Yeah. Yeah. And then also, it's just like you can wear yourself out, you can break yourself down, and then, you know, it's not super sustainable if you're trying to win competition after competition after competition, and they're high class things, and it's like, you're going to take some L's every once in a while, you know, you're going to get hurt, you're going to mess up. So it's like, it's nice to be on your own schedule when that kind of stuff happens because it's a lot more, I don't know, a lot less stressful, and it's easier to look back on it more enjoyably when you don't see, you like, I like hardship, but you're like, I don't like just hardship, like, you know, like feeling like I'm screwed or feeling like I'm not good enough, you know, that kind of stuff. And I feel like competition's good at projecting those feelings onto people, whether or not they feel it actually happens to them or not.
Yeah, it's an interesting point. I'm like scanning my brain for like, how did I feel like when I, you know, started, when I've lost or I felt bad or whatever about my performance. Yeah. And it's like,
even when I do good, I feel bad about my performance. Even when I do good,
I was like, even when I did good, well, it's like you only really think about like the things you fucked up. Yeah. Or like, I only really did well because you can look at it blank
later.
And blank.
It's easier to be like, yeah, no, I did good at that later. But right after, you're always like, oh, there's so much stuff I could have done better. Yeah. Even if you won.
True that. Yeah, it's almost like exhausting too, because
It's super exhausting.
Everyone's that way, and so then everyone's like, "Oh man, I should have done better." And it's like,
everybody's
dude, you
playing that
fucking
game.
won, bro. And then you got to hear the person in first place go like,
Also, before it goes, where everybody's playing the game of like, oh, they're trying to be happy-go-lucky. Some
Yeah.
people, other people are just staring daggers. Other people are stressed. Like me personally, I'm taking a nap. Like everybody deals with the stress in different ways, and it's like it's so weird. Like that's the big difference between a competition and a jam. Is just like the weird energy of people in the room, and like eye contact's different, body language is different. It's weird. Some people aren't into it.
I'm definitely into it. I'm really bummed actually I missed out on any PC this year.
Me too. I'm bummed, but I also know that like I always want to compete.
Mm-hmm.
So like if I know I shouldn't, like sometimes I feel like it's better if I just don't go.
Oh yeah.
Because if I'm like, I want to compete, but do I really want to compete? You know what I mean? It's always like the kid in the candy store thing. When I get there, I'm like, oh yeah, I want to play around with the guys, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, but do I really want to like, did I put in the effort to do this competition like they did? Am I taking it seriously like they are? And usually I'm not. It's like, I don't want to take a place away from somebody who actually cares about this competition.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too. I'm like, I don't want to be wasting anyone's time.
If I'm just sitting on the sidelines, then like I just feel like my favorite part of myself doesn't get to shine in the place that it more than almost any place could or should.
Yeah, that's interesting. I actually prefer not competing now. Like I'm happy to just be around and not have anything to do. Actually though, when the competition starts happening, I'm like, fuck, it looks so fun.
Yeah.
I wish I was in there. But also I'm like every moment leading up to the competition, when people are nervous and they're coming around like, oh, what do you think this one's gonna be? I'm like big chilling, like, hey,
yeah.
You know what I don't care about? Anything right now. Woo!
Yeah.
You're thinking about shit. I'm just chilling.
Yeah, man, it gets tense.
Super tense. You have to though, because again, like that's part of it.
Yeah.
If you're not the kind of person who gives a single shit, then maybe why are you even in the competition? You might be. It's like I don't necessarily want to see that either.
We've seen it before.
Yeah, we've seen it before, and
we've seen tons of people compete.
It's fun. Like I've been in it.
It's
Team
fun.
D-Buggy was definitely that. I mean, I don't know how much you cared about it, but I was like,
I mean, at that point, I was pretty much the same. Yeah, I was like, I had already done the other comps. I was dead. I was like, whatever.
I did an air to stride. Tuck jump to stride was my signature move.
Regrab. That was pretty sick.
That was all right. I mean,
that's pretty good for comp, especially that far back.
That was like always a move that
even now flyway regrab still gets a lot of clout.
Damn, dude. And they always came easy to me. I don't know why. I think I just got lucky with that one. Single backflip rotations I can do, but any other flip, don't fucking ask me to do it because I can't do it.
Not with that attitude.
I'm getting better, dude. Trust me, all right?
Sick.
I'm getting so much better. I'm going to get... I've like wanted to... This is like my... Again, like for me, it's all about like the frontier almost. Mm-hmm. You know, I feel like I've done that. When I feel like I've done something, I want to go in a different direction.
Yeah.
And like, I've never really pushed myself on like big distance flips. Mm-hmm. And that's an area that I'm still drawn to. And I've never really pushed myself in the area of tricking.
Interesting.
And so I'm interested in like tricking and learning how to like do more creative movements without obstacles even.
Yeah.
So, or with fewer obvious obstacles.
Yeah.
So those are still things I'm trying to get ready for, but I'm still coming out of like a very long and arduous reorganization of my spine and like all my joints, it feels like. So if, I don't know if anyone has been paying attention to me, but I haven't really been that active lately with like posting or training or doing much of anything in terms of like movement besides like lots of supplementary shit like bouldering and going to yoga classes and things like this.
Yeah.
And it's because I realized that I've just been doing, like, in many of the years that I was doing parkour, I didn't fully understand my body. And now that I'm getting closer to fully understanding it, I've really tried to be disciplined in not training and figuring out like what's going to be a sustainable path forward.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't sustainable for me when I was doing it. And I don't regret it. I don't know if you feel the same way.
Sometimes it's some people are completely okay with burning the candle at both ends. Like,
yeah.
And some people want to do that for a little while. Some people do that all the time. But yeah, no, I mean, this is the thing I was thinking about a little bit ago is like, no matter how old you are, at least right now, you're stuck inside your body. You're in there and you're there and you're not going anywhere for forever. So it's like, this is the machine that gets you everywhere you want to go, gives you everything you want, gets you what you want, helps you accomplish your goals, your dreams, whatever. And like, yeah, a lot of people aren't thinking about how much of a marathon it is.
Yeah,
because there's so much things to know, and when you're young, of course you're not, because like everything's changing all the time.
It's impossible.
So you can't assume that you're going to be stuck inside this. You can't assume you're like, oh, I'm going to have the same kneecap for 50 more years, or whatever. It's like when you actually really think about that, then it's like, okay, yeah, what is parkour doing to you? And just because it's so loosey goosey easy now, like your body's going to get older and you're going to have to maintain it to get it back to the point that you were when you started, just from aging. You know what I mean? So like, it takes a lot of work, and it's a matured and good look to look at it that way and say like, you know, you need to take time to reorganize your stuff if you want to continue to do this thing you enjoy.
Yep. Big time. And like, it's not even that I didn't think I was burning the candle at both ends. I thought I had the same mindset. I'm like, I'm doing everything I need to. More like I was trying to pay as much attention as I possibly could, but you know, youth and just lack of, or just naivete.
Well, that's
just
the thing is like a youth attention is nothing compared to the attention of a 40-year-old with all the context of everything they know, or something like that. It's, you know, there's only so much that you've had time to question, had time to ponder over, had time to be taught, compared to if you're older and you can look back and say, oh, I've had time and time again to see the same situation and realize the patterns and what I need to do with them. Yeah. Which is cool.
It's
and
cool.
You can hopefully try and tell younger people that, but they won't listen anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. The fuck do they? They're going to be on their thing. They be on their grind. Yeah. And there's examples of people that will always shatter like any advice you could give them anyways. You're like, the classic grandma that like I smoked 3 packs a day and I'm like 102 chilling and you know, it's just like, you know, you just sometimes you got to play the hand you're dealt, and I was dealt maybe I don't even know still. I'm like, was I dealt kind of a fragile body in some ways, or did I just push the shit out of like a relatively strong body?
We're all super fragile.
Yeah.
Like when you're young, you don't realize how fragile you are. So like I said, you're not thinking of like, this is my kneecap, I got it for the rest of my life. Like this is the one.
This is the one. Well, they replace every like even your bones like take they replace over like the course of 7 years. They say.
Yeah, it's like regenerating and recovering and stuff, but it's like,
or you're like science. Science will be fucking big chill.
It's like for the most part, like things don't sort themselves out.
No.
As you get old, like when you're young, you tend to think things will sort itself out. Things will figure it out. It's all going to be cool. But as you get older, you start to say, oh, every time I said that, I was just letting myself deviate further and further away from this line that I actually should have just stayed right on. Yeah. And that's, I guess, maturity is like being more aware of that kind of situation and stuff.
Yeah. It's tough too because your body regenerates much faster when you're younger. So it gives you the illusion that you are sorting things out.
Yeah.
You know?
No, there's so many differences. Like, you sleep so much more.
Yeah.
So like you're recovering and regenerating, and you always like, as long as you're getting your sleep, you're going to feel really good. Because it's like, I can't even try and sleep as much as I used to when I was that young. You know what I mean? When I was like teenager doing parkour all the time, it's like, I'm not going to sleep that long. So then your days are shorter. You're going to like, all your activities are different. Your hormones are different. It's nuts.
It's nuts, baby.
It's like the parkour path of somebody that's like 15 versus somebody that's 20 versus somebody that's 25 versus somebody that's 30. That's like, they all have completely different goals and ideals and stuff. And it's crazy to think about like what sticks and what stays and what goes. Because some of that stuff just gets cut. Like after a point, you're like, yeah, I don't do that anymore.
No, seriously.
Yeah, I don't do angel traps anymore.
I don't.
Dude, fuck my knees and they're lame.
I've done some of the biggest impact challenges I've ever done though this year, which is wild. Because I'm like mostly avoiding impact at all costs, but when I decide to take it, I'm like, well, I'm not gonna fucking just I ain't gonna fucking half-ass the impact day. I'm going balls deep on impact that day, because if I'm gonna get my body into that mindset, I'm like, let's use it.
Yeah, no, that's great.
So like for me, it's like it's actually helped me appreciate the fragility, like you're saying. I'm like, I'm fragile, but I can also do like for certain moments something that I've always wanted to do, and it's gonna fuck myself up a little bit, but I'll be all right. It's worth it. Like, and now I kind of like I know what I'm dealing with, and I'm like, all right, well, I'll just fucking rest for 3 months after that if I have to. Like, it's all good if that's worth it to me. But once you know that, it's like, all right, I'm gonna make it worth it to me. I'm not gonna just do 100 like kind of like shitty front like onto concretes. I'm gonna find a challenge that I can maybe do 2 or 3 times, and I want to do really bad, and do that.
Yeah, I've always thought that was like a cool. You've always been like the seeker. I feel like you really like to seek things out and then like plan around them, at least like for challenges and stuff. Like, I always thought that was a little different than the way I like approach stuff. Like, you seem to like seek things out and see like a vision of the way you want it to go and how you're gonna have it go, and like that's really cool. But
thanks, bro.
Yeah, it's like,
what do you do? How is yours different?
Like when it comes to what? Like
just in comparison
challenges?
to seeking something out. Like,
I just let them come to me. Yeah, I go out and like, my goals are not to find challenges. They're not to like do much. My goals are usually like, have fun, keep it interesting. And then from there, like, I kind of just let naturally things that happen, what's fun and what's interesting. And then I just follow it to make it more fun and more interesting if I can.
That's a good way. I mean, I feel like I do that to an extent, but I also, I think when one of those challenges finds me, that like then I become a homing device towards it.
I can see it. Like
sometimes like something
you'll find like something epic or something that's like just like so cool in your head, and you're like, I want to do that,
achieve
and
that.
And it's like,
I don't know why, dude. I'm wired that way. I feel like I'm an explorer sometimes more than I am like an athlete. I just want to like see if I can do something that I haven't seen done.
I feel like Dylan did that a lot too.
Yeah,
Dylan was like all about that.
Maybe
kind
I
of
picked that off of him a little bit. Like
who were the first people you trained with?
The first people I trained
with?
I
don't know. Who are some of your bigger training influences when you were coming through your first?
Well, let's work up to Dylan, because I would say he's probably the biggest influence on my training.
Okay.
But like the first time I was training, it was just like a random meetup. I actually don't remember this dude's name. I'm ashamed I don't remember him. But he's like this bearded dude.
Some people have forgotten to pass.
Kind of balding.
To time.
Classic dude. He was like my first OG training partner. He was like really old school, warmed up really well. Like, thank God I met him, because I'm not that way at all. And like he kind of like pushed that into me a little bit.
It took me a while to get to anything like that.
And he's just like he was like an Eric Wolf almost, like really creative, kind of like kept it low to ground, but like lots of flow. Yeah. Lots of flow abilities. So shout out to that guy.
That was probably just a lot bigger in the time too, when you started getting into it, like flow.
That was like the thing. Like people were doing rail flow, like single rail flow shitload back then. Just a wall run, dude. You could just do a wall run. If it was high enough, boom.
Oh yeah.
Hot clip right there.
Oh yeah.
Hot clip with the wall run. But what the fuck is that noise?
Garbage truck.
Okay. Anyhow, the next phase is when I found Apex, I guess. So that was not long after I started training, and I guess like you could say Trayvon, actually. Do you remember Trayvon?
Yeah, doesn't he live in Hawaii now?
I don't know, does he?
I think he lives in Hawaii.
Trayvon was a huge inspiration for me. Him and Jake and like the whole pro team, Amos, and Dylan. Like that's when I saw Dylan. I think when I started discovering
that's when I saw Dylan.
Well, like I mean, Trayvon actually inspired me almost like to stick with it.
Yeah.
He was the first mover I saw that seemed like really like effortless. I don't know.
Fluent,
like he just like had STIs or whatever. Like he had what's known as STIs in the game. And like he had really cool trick selection, and I just liked the things he did more than I liked just what I had seen before. And then I'd give some shout out to just everyone at Apex, like in that crew, like I mean everyone that the OG Apex, like the Gremlins, like people heading up those programs, like Amos helped me discover like more ways to fall properly. That certainly helped. But I would say without a doubt, like the biggest influence was Dylan, because Dylan was just so gnarly that like to train with him was just like to always be pushing myself, like, and that's what I really liked the most about the sport. And like I would always just kind of like try to be around people that pushed me, you know. And so all the people that I mentioned,
you liked that, you liked being around him, even though it kind of put you on edge, right? Like you felt like you were gonna be in for some shit.
I was like, yeah, let's like well, I just wanted to learn from people that I thought were the best, and I thought that Dylan was the best. Yeah, I was just like, he's the best. I want to like be around him and like learn.
I want him to be my dad.
I want him to be my dad,
my parkour
and so
dad.
I was like, if I can just be, I'm a visual learner as much as I am like an auditory learner, and so like just training with people has always been the way that I've progressed the most, and there was so much to gain from like just spending time, you know, just seeing how he broke down challenges, seeing like his technique on things, and like the mental aspect was always what excited me most about parkour and taking things to height. Just because I never really thought that I could get there, and then once I started doing it, I was like, holy shit, it's accessible to anyone, you know, like it actually is accessible to fucking anybody. You get yourself into these mind states, you can do crazy shit. And
what do you remember about like getting into the mind states? Like, do you remember like any things that would like help trigger you? I just realized that like, into those places?
It's just like, I just remember that just like, it's all about just taking the baby step. Just literally like, instead of thinking about it more and talking about it more, just like, can I get into a cat hang on this wall? Yeah. And then look at the cat back? Yes. Okay. Just look at it from that position. Like, do the thing that you're scared to do still of, maybe. Like, it was kind of scary just to climb down into a cat hang sometimes. Yeah. Well, but that's if I can do that, then I'm like, all right, I'll just do that. No expectations, no like commitment. And then when I get in the cat hang, I'm like, oh fuck, it's right there. Yeah. I can do this. So like that was it mostly. It just like stop building things up and start breaking things down, you know, just like start breaking. What's the smallest chunk that you can, what's the smallest bite that you can take off and chew right now? Bite it off and chew it and see what happens.
That's great. No, that's super good. Like that's a super good approach, because people like, a lot of times people like to talk, you know what I mean? They like to start talking about a challenge, and you're like, sometimes it's worse to sit there and talk about it, because you guys aren't going to do anything. You're just going to talk it up and make it worse, and then maybe just leave or something. It's like, it's always like, even if everybody there is horrified, you being brave enough to take the first baby step and then like influence all them to realize it's possible, and like, oh, maybe I can take a baby step. Like I shouldn't feel bad for putting myself in the position of someone who wants to do this challenge for real, but maybe doesn't know if they can do it or can't do it yet. You know, a lot of people won't even get on that cat hang because they tell themselves like, well, what's the point of doing the cat hang if I'm never going to do the second part? And you go, well, you can't even do the second part until you do the first part. Yeah. But you're letting yourself never do the first part because you say you'll never do the second part.
Big time.
Yeah.
And then, you know, becoming friends with Dylan and stuff also helped me realize, again, like anyone can do it. Like that was like the act. Like you realize that they're a person. They're not just like a fucking god. Yeah. You know, which
a monkey man
luckily
god.
I knew that already.
He moves like a monkey man.
He moves like a monkey man.
But
god.
Is he?
You know, I think like being a little bit older like being just older, getting into the sport helped me just kind of like push past like some of like the bullshit of like, oh man, like I never really cared how I was going to look. I was like over being embarrassed by things for the most part. I was over just like whatever, just scrutiny. And like it was such an accepting community. It was like so easy to like be myself in the parkour community, because there's like so little judgment. Yeah, you know, back then especially, it was like so young. It was just like fucking do whatever you'd want to do, be you. So it was just like a really good spot. Like I just felt like I could just send it, you know, for lack of a better term.
No, that's cool.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Shout out to all the people that made me stronger. Much love, guys. And then Dante, you're actually one of these people. You know, I mean, I wouldn't put you on the same tier as Dylan, maybe, because we just didn't get to train as much when we were younger.
Like, that's the thing is, I don't spend that much time with a lot of people.
You did teach me a very, very valuable lesson. Like, the first time we trained basically, and I
Yeah.
smashed my fucking foot into a wall.
Good
because
times.
like again, like I saw you and I was like, this guy's really good. I want to like train with him and see how what I can learn real quick, from training with somebody with this much experience.
See, and that's like something growing up for me is like I know people have that mindset.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that's why I've had like more struggles with like embarrassing myself or something. You know what I mean? It's like I once I knew people knew who I am, then yeah, it's like I know that they're like, if you don't know who someone is, you're not really going to judge what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But if people know who you are the second you show up somewhere, you know that people are already judging everything you do. And it's like, yeah, that kind of stuff like always made it a little weirder for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, because of that, it makes you want to rise to their expectations as well. So it's like, if I know that you're like trying to test me that way, I'm like, all right, let's see what you got, like and stuff like that.
Yeah. No, exactly. And I think, that's one of the fun things about, iron sharpens iron. It's just like, I want to see if I can sharpen you back. Ideally,
Mm-hmm.
like I want to be able to give back to the people that help me out.
Oh yeah.
And so
I would imagine that you have given back to like, I mean, it's in the parkour community, you do a parkour podcast. So like you give back in so many ways.
We try.
And like,
yeah, this is what I'm doing.
You've also done
in the
so
meantime.
much for my training and stuff too. So.
Well, yeah, I'm trying, baby. But yeah, like for the first time me and Dante were training together, I was like, oh shit. Like he was known for his free running, not so much his parkour.
Everybody likes to call me a tricker.
Everyone likes to say that shit, but I was like fascinated because you were not training flips or anything that day. You were doing like mostly jumps and vaults and shit, and I was like, oh, it was like he's nasty.
I mean, it was that gym, dude.
It was that gym, baby.
Yeah.
And so I tried this fat double Kong with you. Like we were doing like going challenges, and I was like, oh shit, like this is dope. I'm feeling pushed. I'm like doing things I wasn't gonna do today, or maybe I didn't think I could.
You were
do.
just like working the desk or something that day, right?
I was just working the desk,
like
baby.
it was just like, I don't even remember what's happened. It was like maybe me, Jason, or somebody. But yeah, we just like, I don't know what we were doing. But you were just kind of booling around at the front desk, and you're like, hey guys.
I'm an opportunist, I guess, in some ways. Where I was just
awesome.
like, oh, these guys aren't gonna be here every day. I feel the good energy. Let's go for it.
That's so funny.
And then I just fucking did this. You did this fat double Kong, and
under
I wasn't
a bar,
under a bar, and I wasn't quite ready for it. But I was kind of in this mode of my training where I was like, well, I was like just fascinated with like kind of pushing past my limits or perceived limits, and. This was kind of up until that point. Like this was the first time it really went wrong for me.
Yeah.
I had like built a lot of momentum, like over the course of actually like 8 months to a year, maybe.
Well, yeah.
Every time I chose to push.
I might have even known who you were, because like I don't know if your video came out by then.
Oh yeah, maybe.
But like I remember around that time, like you'd gotten on my radar pretty hard.
Oh,
you know what I
word.
mean, I just don't know if it was before or after.
Hey, the reputation precedes me. But I remember just being like, every time I chose to push into the unknown,
Yeah.
I had like been good with that decision. Like it had worked out the way I more or less expected it to. And then I was like taking like increasing like bigger bets, like a little bit bigger bets. Like how much,
I know that
how far
sometimes
can
when you're
I
like,
push into
you're
it?
like, wow, it's worked out this
It
time,
keeps
worked out this
working
time,
out,
worked out
keep
this
working
time.
out, yeah.
Like I'm going to keep pushing that line, and then you get set back.
And then, so I had to go for this double Kong, and I fucking smacked my feet on the bar, like going up off the first wall. And so then my body starts rotating towards the wall.
You did the double Kong extend super hard.
Yeah.
And nailed it. And that's what I was focusing on not doing.
I thought my fucking foot was broken. I was like, oh, I just broke my foot for sure. I went to the hospital
And then I was probably just like, all right, later.
Yeah, you just
Like,
pieced out, and I was just like,
didn't even know you that well. Like, I didn't even know your last name probably. I was like,
Yep.
all right, we got to go.
luckily I got that workman's comp before that hospital bill, but
Nice.
because I was working the front desk, holla, but and nothing was broken. But yeah, that was like a super valuable thing. I was like, oh, like you got to make sure you don't get caught up in like the first of all, just taking riskier things, or like just trying to compare yourself like to somebody who has any amount of experience, and like thinking, well, they hit this challenge, maybe I can hit this challenge. Like, just like all these things that kind of like
don't know them.
Yeah,
like if
we had never trained together. That was literally the first time.
That's a great mentality to have with somebody to train with all the time.
Yeah, for sure.
Because then it's like an extension of yourself. You're like, I almost have a little training clone to my side that's done a lot of the challenges, seen a lot of the things, had a lot of the same experiences. So now we can test the variables of our different genetic makeup or whatever, nurture nature, and see. But we know it's going to be pretty similar if we've done all these things similarly before. But yeah, if you apply that mentality to somebody you just met because maybe that's the only training mentality you had, or
maybe I had a little
something.
bit of an ego going that day. Who knows what was going on, but like all of that played in, and it was like super valuable. And since then, I'd been like more reserved about my betting, you know, and it's worked out for the most part. Like those bets, at least, never has like. I haven't gotten injured in that way.
Doesn't pay off.
Yeah,
often.
no, I haven't gotten injured in that way since.
Yeah,
I've gotten injured from like lack of air, like focus, and like usually it comes from having done something and then going back to clean it up, and that's when I lose my focus.
No, like the ego injuries are
huge.
Not only are you spraining your ankle, but you're also shattering your own self-worth and your model of how you like to view yourself in the world all at once. It can be hard.
It can be good for you though. I think it's good.
Oh, it can be great for
having
you.
your ego blasted in half or completely obliterated is one of the best experiences.
It all depends on how.
Yeah, that's true.
Because some people's ego takes a punch and then it gets stronger. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like,
it fights back.
And now I need to find 5 ways to like lie to myself to make that untrue. You know what I mean? And then they get more in their own little world. But if you actually, cleave off a piece or something, then yeah, that's good. That's good work.
Yeah. Nice ego check, dude. Thanks for slapping my ego with a fucking nice.
You slapped your own ego
backhand.
because your ego is what made you did it. I didn't go up there and go, "Can you do it?"
Yeah, that's true. This is true. But you were instrumental in my
I was
own
just
bitch
doing
slapping.
I was just keeping
you
it
were just
interesting
training.
and
You were
fun.
just doing your fucking thing.
I was keeping it interesting and fun.
Yeah, I lost sight of my own goals.
Yeah, it happens.
It happens. It happened to me. You guys heard it here. What about you, man? Before we wrap up, I want to hear your fucking training heroes or biggest influences.
That's weird. I mean, like right now, I really like Matthias Meyer.
Oh yeah,
I like watching all of his stuff, and I just like the way he does things. I don't know, like he's inspiring to watch. When I watch him, I actually want to go out and train more, which is like, I don't know, what I try to find when I watch videos. It's like, does this make me want to do this? And it's like, there's some videos that make me just straight want to go out even if I don't feel that great, which is like, showing up is half the battle.
Showing up, baby. So
yeah, I really like his stuff a lot. Growing up, I really loved 3 Run and Daniel Ibaka when I was like, a wee tyke, 13.
Oh yeah.
This is like the first big athletes that I knew of. So like 3 Run, Daniel Ibaka, I watched all their videos and just thought they were really cool, and they were kind of pushing the game. But then like when it came to personal training, then yeah, like big ones would be like Dan Teal. Dan Teal. Which is legend. I started with him and he trained for, probably like, I don't know, it felt like 7 or 8 years. And he was just really good. So like he would do stuff before me and then I'd want to do it, or like a big thing is having someone around your level to train with and feel good with. Like me and him never really felt competitive towards each other in a bad way, because we knew that nobody else was training on the level we were. So like we really felt good. Like we could confide in each other because like we only understood some things that nobody else did. And we didn't really get like super, like we didn't ever take it, we didn't get competitive that much towards each other. Yeah. And then, like all my friends from when I started, even the ones that don't train that much now, just all of them they're all doing their own things. They're all like practicing and like having that group around. It's like, I always came from like the people that we just go to a spot and start being friends. Like we're friends, so we're just going to do what friends do. And then like training would always come naturally because of the spot we went to. But it wasn't about like, let's do these things today. It was like, let's just hang out because we like each other's company, and that's the key. It's free and nobody cares. Like, and we have energy and we're expending, like, it's not hurting anybody. Like, it's a good hobby to have when you're young. Big time. So a lot of that. And then, as I started teaching kids and stuff, like when I started, getting a little older than like Ross, I started teaching him when he was 12, and once he started getting taller, like he was doing challenges with me. So like me and him, like he was like Dan to me in that way, where it's like now I have somebody that I can challenge myself with and challenge them, and we can learn from each other and do high level stuff. And like he's passionate, which is a big part of it. You can't try and keep someone chugging along if they're not. They have to have their own fire. Yeah. Like, but someone else's fire can easily help make your fire, bigger. But sometimes you got to cultivate the flame. And then, like just tons of people up in Boulder and Denver and all the Apex people, because like when I started meeting them and going through the certification and meeting like you, and I met Dylan earlier obviously, and like Amos and Ryan and Rob Schill and like just everybody. And now there's so many more people like Sean Higgins and
it's insane.
Jared Nahulu and all these people that are just like super fun to go out and train with. But like for me, yeah, it's never been about like, I don't want to train with people because of what they do or like anything like that. I just want to train with people because I like the people, and and if you like the people, you'll like what they produce. But I don't look at what people produce and take that as a good person, because some people can do really cool stuff and really nice stuff, but I don't jive with them at all. So like I'm not going to want to train with them, or I won't have a good time unless it's, you know, just the kind of people that are fun to be around and like, you know, not taking it too seriously.
Yeah, dude. I think that was like maybe something that I wish I would have. I don't know. Actually, I feel like that I'm the same way. Like for me, it's like I want to go spend time with friends, and then training, if it happens, is awesome.
Yeah.
But like, you know, I definitely did want to like be around the people that I wanted to push me, and then if we became friends.
Oh yeah, no. When I was younger, but it was of course, like, yeah, I like me, idolized people like unhealthily and like
but for like you got to figure that out early on. I guess the earlier the better.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I feel you big time, because it's like I don't want to go train anymore even at all. Like I'm like I want to go hang out with people, I mean, and then if we are outside training, it's all good.
It can be a negative conditioning if like you go, hey guys, let's go train, and then you have this expectation in your mind of effort. So it's literally somebody like, or yourself just saying, hey, you want to go expend a bunch of effort? But it's like the thing that's so magical about parkour is like you never realize, oh, I'm jumping as hard as I can, I'm running as fast as I can, I'm holding on to this thing. You never not think about any of that stuff when you're doing it, because you're just having pure fun. Yeah. So it's like it's really like you want to just say, I want to show up like somewhere and like try and keep it a positive connotation. The group will get me out for sure. Yeah. That's like when the Apex Pro Team training days were like always like just, all right, I guarantee it's going to be a good time, because like at least all my friends are showing up. We're going to hang out. Yeah. Merm, like we used to just always get together, and it was like, we need to have more Colorado jams. I'm going to be hanging out with Knox and Dylan and whoever else shows up. That's already, it's impossible for it to be a bad time. Exactly. Because I'm like, I'm hanging out with my boys. Yeah. So, you know, and then invariably you get fucking gnarly. Yeah. You know, but like, that's life. That's that life. But yeah, man, I'm just super down to be chilling now. I'm like, I just haven't even been training sometimes. I just go to hang out now for the most part. No, that's good. Well, but that's it's the same thing. It's just like, I just not motivated. Training. Like if you do parkour and you're planning to ever continue parkour, you're always training. Like everything you do is training. Like if I'm sitting in this chair, I'm resting right now for my next session. Like if I'm doing the dishes or like playing a video game or watching something, it's like I'm still practicing something that I'm going to apply to myself that will invariably like come out through my parkour, because that's my expression. So it's like everything that you're putting in is going to help a little bit of what comes out. And yeah, it's like if you go and get, you know, the things you like, you know, having that group of friends or whatever, you're still, you know, cultivating the stuff that you want for yourself, even if it's not the exact expectation of, oh, I should only get this if I go jump on a rail too. Yeah, no. You know what I mean? And I mean, sometimes you can get the same hormones and feelings from a training session if you literally just go up and stand on something high for a while, and then you just look around, and then after a while you just go home. Like you're not gonna have the same mental, oh, I did this and this and this, but when it comes to the experience of how you felt, it's not that much different. Yeah, no, it's like often the best training moments or like days when you're out exploring with whatever with your homies, buddies, and random stuff happens is the random shit. Yeah, like it's just like, oh, you remember that weird dude the homeless guy that we had to like get chased down by or something because he was like being wild in Denver, or I don't know, just it's also like, I don't know, it's the difference between when you go to sleep at night and you're thinking, all right, tomorrow we're going to this spot, we're doing this thing, and we already know. That's my least favorite thing versus tomorrow I'm waking up and I'm gathering with people and we're going to go in a direction. You know what I mean? Keep it vague. You can't, then before you go to sleep that night, you're not gonna be thinking, okay, how am I gonna do this? I'm stressed out about this and this, and then when you wake up, you're just saying, okay, I have simple goals. I'm gonna fulfill my simple goals, and that's gonna get you where you are. Whereas when we already have everything covered, we like to make up new little things to imagine and worry and stress out over, because that's what our brains do, I guess.
Good old brains.
Yep. When we don't have anything to figure out, we're like, yep, time to make some stuff to figure out. So when you set stuff in the future, because we can perceive it, then yeah, you're like, all right, time to start setting my expectations of how the future's supposed to go.
Oh
Like,
my God. That's why my favorite thing always has been to go into unexplored territory.
mm-hmm.
I want to get my homies together. I don't like to train by myself as much because I really feed off the energy of
when
like other people,
myself,
and I just want to be like stoking.
I hate people looking at me.
Yeah.
So like, I don't like being watched when I train. Like I almost always feel awkward. I like to listen to music to like make it less awkward for me, but I'd like to think I'm a hyper aware person. And even if I try to turn my brain off, like it's very hard to not acknowledge people are staring at me, because they are. You know what I mean? Like, and then also, yeah, just training by yourself. It's hot, especially when it's hot. Like, it's nice to go back and forth with your friends, or if you want to film something, like, hey, I'll film your attempt, you film my attempt. Like,
yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to pace yourself when you're on your own. So you won't have super long training sessions because you're not taking time to talk to your friends. You're not taking time to watch other people do stuff. You're just kind of going, and then you finish and you're really tired and you're like, oh God.
It's rare that I'm like, cheesed about like training by myself, but sometimes I just do it. When I do it, it's always unplanned. It's always, again, it's still in a spontaneous moment.
Yeah.
I'm like, shit, I'm here, I'm doing it, whatever. Or, I don't necessarily set, again, an intention to go out and just, maybe I'll go walk around.
Exactly.
I'm like, I'm going to go for a walk, and then I might go train.
It's all about the feeling, or the kind of question that your brain or your body is posing to you. When you have that feeling, you say like, do I actually want to train? When you're like, okay, I have no friends to train with, and I'm telling myself I should go out and train. It's like, okay, maybe you just want to film something. So you just want to be creative. Yeah. Is there something else you can do creatively as opposed to go force a session so you can make a little clip out of it and edit it? Or, and a lot of people, when it comes to like training by themselves, they're just like, they're trying to, it feels like they're forcing it, and it's
except for Shade's Lat.
Yeah. Well, here's the other thing too.
Lat is the most epic solo trainer of all time, in my opinion.
For me, at least, if it feels more like exercise and not a creative outlet, then I'm like, oh, okay, I have energy. I want to train right now. I could just do like push-ups and squats and foam roll and stretch and like jump on a trampoline or something. Like, I don't need to go to a spot, go through the whole rigmarole of all I do for a session, because like the truth is I don't want the whole session. Like, there's just a little thing I need to tick in my brain, and like sometimes you have to find ways to rewire that or whatever, because it can be depressing to go, especially if you don't listen to music and you go train by yourself a lot. Like, it's nice to get the solitude and stuff, but it's kind of depressing, I feel like. You know what I mean? Like,
I think it's fascinating what you decide to do when you're alone.
That's true.
I think that's the only thing I really like about it, is I'm like, I wonder, like, because without any of the noise, without anyone else there, it's really not that different. But you just kind of like, I guess like there's no one there to be like, oh, well, let's keep going, I want to go this way. You just, so when you see something, you just go and do it, and then when you're bored, you just pick up and leave. Like, I find like I hop around a lot more when I'm solo. I just like I don't like stay in one spot for very long, because I'm just like, there's nothing keeping me here. There's no reason for me to go.
I'll just longboard, and then I'll just find myself at a spot and kind of be like, whatever, then just longboard somewhere else, and it satiates that feeling. I don't know what it is, what like biological human feeling it is, where it's like, I need to travel, I need to cover ground, I need to watch my legs moving, but I definitely get that. And just like kind of covering distance. It's like, I feel like that's it's almost like You need to eat. You need to get sunshine. You need to get like your vitamins. Like covering distance is something that humans should do. You shouldn't stay cooped up anywhere for too long.
No, I agree. It's not good for you, not at all. And I'm feeling a little cooped up right now. So I'm thinking maybe we could head out and hit the fucking dusty trail right now.
I'll be down.
And see what happens.
You're going to Art of Retreat soon, right?
I am going to Art of Retreat in a week and change.
Are you excited?
Yeah,
still never
I'm
gone.
super excited. I love being around. I like my routine when I'm here, but like I like leaving.
Yeah.
Just like you're saying, like I like exploring. I like going, covering distance, just seeing more. And you know, I've known in Boulder so well for so long that you know, for me, it feels like if I can get any opportunity, if there's reasons for me to go somewhere else, if I feel even remotely drawn to it, I'm down. So yeah, I'm pretty pumped about going out there. I don't know who's all going to be out there, but I'm excited to just enjoy the event. It's going to be way different. Last year it was in New York. That was the first time I went. And this year it's going to be like actually a retreat, like in the woods, like outside of Seattle somewhere.
Really?
So I think we're going to be in like log cabins and shit.
Like a week or two after it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't know that it was coming up or anything.
Well, damn, son.
Yeah, that's cool though. It's an actual retreat.
Yeah, it's an actual retreat. And it's just like I'm fascinated with it because I don't necessarily fit into like not fit in, but just like I feel like that community, like I was my first time there last year, and I was like, oh shit, like this has been going on for a while. Like obviously these guys, like they really come and meet up and like talk about the issues with parkour and like try to help the community and like do some things that like I've been more just feeling like there wasn't as much unification. It makes me feel like there's actually more unification and collaboration within the community, which I like to see. And you know, the fact that I got invited back is really huge for me. I'm like stoked awesome that they want me to be continuing to be a part of that. And I'll try to get some episodes out there, I think, because I know that there's going to be some good guests out there. You know, Rafe Kelly is out there.
Oh, dude, yeah, that'd be a good one.
The tree master, tree runner.
He shaved his beard a while ago.
Shaved his beard, so he's not going to be looking as Cro-Magnon as
it's
once
probably
before.
Back. Who knows?
But there's going to be lots of other people out there. I think Dylan Poland is another one that I saw on the
Dude, have you ever hung out with Dylan Poland?
I've not.
Hang out with Dylan
I've hung
Poland,
out with Dylan
dude.
Poland, but only like at NAPC and like different events. There's like other there's like 30 other people around.
Hang out with him, dude.
And like I love that guy. I know that guy, I want to get him on the podcast. I want to hang out with. I mean, there's just gonna be so many people there. Maybe it'll be someone like really, you know, Caitlin Pontrella puts this whole event together. She's a fascinating and like inspiring individual. Like I know that, you know, if she has time, she probably doesn't. I'd like to get her on because she's, you know, she is like a true leader in so many ways. And whether she like would admit that or not, you know, it's like a parkour leadership conference in some ways. And I don't like necessarily feel like I'm a leader. Like I don't necessarily want that role, but I do want
nice
to like
know though, and be in the know of like,
but yeah, it's
be a part of it.
It's nice to be a part of it, and like ultimately, I have to be realistic. Like if I'm gonna have a podcast that talks about parkour, it's important to have these things paid attention to. You know, like I don't want to be ignorant as shit, and like I'm interested in it anyways. Yeah. I just like I'm hyped to be out there. And I just love traveling. Like again, what could possibly not be fun? It's a bunch of people that a lot of them I know and love.
Dylan Poland's going to be there.
And, you know, I don't know. Even if again, like it's all part of the journey, baby. Anything that like challenges me, I like to go into the unknown. I like to test myself against whatever is out there. So
yeah, no,
maybe there'll be some struggles. I doubt it. I think it's just going to be a good time for the most part.
It's probably going to be fun. Yeah.
It was super fun last year. Lots of laughs. I mean, the parkour community never disappoints.
Are you going by yourself or are you going with anybody?
I'm basically going by myself. Well, I'm not going by I'm going by myself. Like I'm flying out with my own, you know, tickets that I made and booked myself. But Amos will be out there, so you know, there's be another representative from Colorado. And and yeah, it's been a minute probably. I mean, I've seen him here and there. He's been putting together his course for EDU, and that's taken up a good chunk of his time. But you know, I'm gonna try to get him on. He's down to do the podcast once that course is probably finished. He's gonna come on as well.
Sick. That should be fun.
So, I think that's maybe it from Colorado that I know of, but there might be other people going out. Who knows?
Okay.
30 states represented is what I read.
Wow.
And then other countries too.
That's crazy.
That is the sound of me feeling sick of sitting down.
How long has it been?
I don't know. It's probably been plenty though, because who gives a shit how long it's sitting. It's getting hot in
Dude,
here.
it's been so hot like every day.
It's been way too hot. September. I'm trying to keep this tan going from Burning Man.
There's
Yeah,
one
dude, holy shit.
giant
It's actually
bug
been
in
super
here.
long. It's been one of the longest episodes yet.
Whoops.
Hour 40. What the fuck? That flew by, dude. All right, let's get the fuck out of here. We love you guys. Thanks for listening to us shoot the shit about chlamydia and parkour.
What a great starter.
What a great
opener.
Usually we start with the fucking, the more serious, and then we hit the poop and pee area at the end.
We started
this
with
time
it,
we
got
started
past it,
got past
and
it,
then took it to the serious area.
I kind of wish we stayed with it.
Whatever. I'll be back.
All right, we'll see you soon. Much love for watching and listening. We'll see you guys next week.
Later.
Bye.